Welcome to Record, Mix and Release, a YouTube series which takes you through the process of recording a song from beginning to end in your home studio and releasing it to the world. And in this episode, we'll be recording some group vocals. Hi folks, I'm Mike and I hope you're well, and welcome to the 7th episode in this series where we record, mix and release a song to the world from a home studio. And in this episode we're going to be recording a 12-part group vocal plus a single female part for the middle section of the song and a few hand claps. Now I had a lot of fun making this part of the song, so I hope you'll stick around to see how we did it. Now if you want to get notified about other episodes in this series or indeed other content on this channel all about home recording, DAWs, gear reviews, plugin reviews, that kind of thing, then please do subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube so that you are notified about those other episodes. Now let's get on and record some group vocals. So this section forms the basis of the final chorus in the song, but unfortunately I don't have a 12-voice choir to do it with, so I'm gonna have to fake it. So the idea here is to record a male part as a 4-part harmony and a female part as a 2-part harmony. Now I'm gonna record each of those parts twice as well, so that'll give me a total of 12 tracks to blend together to create the choir. Now I'm gonna stand a fair distance away from the microphone because I don't want the same presence that I would normally get for a main vocal part. I want it to be a little bit distant sounding, and also I'm going to pick up a bit more of the sound of the room when I do it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and start recording these vocals, and while you're listening I'll blend them all together so you get to hear the final effect of the 12 vocals being mixed together. I don't buy what I've been sold, that happiness is made of gold, or another one can't fill your soul. No, I don't buy what I've been sold, and I don't buy what I've been taught. They laid the trap, now you've been caught, slowly dying with the thought that you've been killed by what you bought. And I don't buy what I've been sold, that happiness is made of gold, or another one can't fill your soul. No, I don't buy what I've been sold. So what you were listening to there is the raw sound of the vocals exactly as they came out of the microphone. There's been no processing added at all yet, no plugins, no effects, nothing at all. I'll be doing that but a little later in the mixing phase, which will be in a future episode. But for now, I've just done some very basic panning, which I'll show you now. Now, if you look on the screen, there are 8 blue tracks here. Those are the male vocal parts, and there's 4 pink tracks. They are the female vocal parts. How stereotypical of me. Now, I started off by looking at the bass end of the male parts. That's actually tracks 3 and 4 here, and I just had them dead down the center. They're not panned at all. Then on the other extreme, I looked at the highest parts of the female vocal parts, and those are the last 2 tracks over here, and I've panned them hard left and right. Then I've kind of gradually panned the other harmonies in between. What I'm trying to achieve here is a really nice spread to the sound, but I'm kind of keeping it rooted in the center with the bass notes as well. But of course, you're free to do this as you wish when you come to do it yourself. So I'm going to go ahead and record the hand claps in a similar way, but this time I'm going to bounce them down to a stereo track right away because I don't think I'm going to want to individually mix them later. So you can see my hand claps here, and like the vocals, I've spread them out across the stereo field, and that's partly because I want them to sound nice and spread out, and partly because I want to kind of make it sound like it was the actual choir or the vocal group who were doing the clapping. But unlike the vocal group, it's highly unlikely that I'll want to remix or the balance of these different claps later, and it's kind of clogs up my DAW a bit to have them all there all the time. So what I'm going to do is just bounce them all down to a stereo track once I've actually done the panning on them, which I've already done. So I'm just going to select them all like so. I'm going to go up to my tracks menu here in Cakewalk, click on bounce to tracks, and I'm going to just send them to a new track, and I'll just keep all of the other settings, click on OK. And you can see right down the bottom there that there's a new track which has been created with my hand claps on, so I can just go ahead and delete those other tracks now. So there's a really prominent section in the middle of the song where everything kind of drops down and there's this lone female vocal supported only by an organ and a high-pitched bass guitar before it finally lifts up into the final two choruses. Now that female vocal, I'm thinking, is going to have a kind of a dreamy sound to it, so it's going to have absolutely mountains of reverb on it. So I've actually put lots of reverb on the headphone mix for Susie as she sings so that she can get a feel for that as she's singing. Now I've chosen to use the SE Electronics X1 for Susie's voice. We've used it on her voice before and it always sounds pretty good, so we're using it again here today. So nothing particularly special done to this vocal yet. I haven't processed it in any way except for this very large reverb which you can hear on it. And I very quickly just slapped on the stock reverb which comes with Cakewalk, and I put it on a pretty high setting. But I'll be treating it with much more care in the mix a little bit later on. Now I did also, as you can probably hear there, add a little bit of harmony to the vocal at the end. We'll just have a listen to that again. But that pretty much concludes it for all of the backing vocal parts, except for some harmony I'll be adding after I've recorded the main vocal. Thank you so much for watching this episode in the series. In the next episode, we'll be recording the lead vocals for our song. Now, if you liked this video, then you can show your appreciation by hitting the like button. It really does help me out. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe and ring the bell on YouTube so that you're notified about other episodes and content from this channel. And I'll see you in the next video.